Hello, I'm Chardonnay, and today I'm going to be taking you all shopping with me as I look for ways to organize and decorate my new home office and creative space. I personally like browsing different stores, especially IKEA's in particular, because of the way they have their showrooms set up. It gives me a way to get some ideas on various ways to style, decorate, and organize all of my gear that I use for creating content, as well as alternative storage solutions for all of my craft supplies. So in this video, I'm going to share what I'm personally looking for as I build out my home office space, and also share a few shopping tips and things to keep in mind if you are also currently thinking about zhuzhing up your space. Here are some photos and a mood board that I put together that has a bit of my theme and the colors that I'm going for. I'm going for a more rustic and modern look, meaning I'm going to be having lots of walnut wood, black with pops of pink throughout the space. And this is the best way that I can describe it, but the photos are a better visual of what I'm hoping this space can somewhat look like. I highly recommend before you go shopping, get some type of idea of what you want your space to look like, so that way as you're going shopping, you can decide if you want to customize a piece, if you come across anything that might be useful for your space, but not in the color you are looking for. I see tons of IKEA DIYs all over the internet, so I'm sure you can customize something of your own if that's what you're into. And also, declutter. That is the biggest thing, because you don't want to buy a ton of storage containers just because they're cute, only to store a bunch of junk that you aren't actually going to use. So I highly recommend decluttering and thinking about your plan for your space before going shopping. So let's start with storage first. I prefer vertical storage because I'm a very visual person. So I'm checking out their pegboard section. I personally notice when I have tons of containers, cabinets, and drawers, they tend to turn into junk drawers or junk cabinets, can get super cluttered very quickly because items are hidden and tucked away. So if you have vertical space, use it. As you can see, based on the way this pegboard is set up inside of the showroom, you can store a bunch of different items. IKEA also has this light stand with a phone attachment, which I think is also great for overhead content shots. And I'm going to get more into this, especially their lighting and their sound items, especially if you're a content creator, later on in this video, so be sure to stay tuned to the very end. I'm also not saying the names of these items on purpose because I can't pronounce half of these items, so as I show you all the names of the items, try to catch it if you can. Or if you know the names of the items that I'm showing and I didn't show the tag, just drop the names in the comment section below. So as I was browsing their pegboard section, I noticed that they only sold this item in black and brown. But while checking out the other sections in the showrooms, I came across this pink pegboard, which was actually in a kid's bedroom display. And I think something like this is an excellent example of how you can customize one of their pieces to make it functional for your space. I'm just really impressed at how much they have expanded on the accessories to use for their pegboards, because you can really use this to store so many items, and it also doubles as a decor piece inside of your office or your craft room to put all of your supplies on display inside of your space. Another item that I noticed that IKEA now sells are these chalkboards and whiteboards. They had a thin flat version as well as a board that was thicker, and I believe it might have been metal but coated with a chalkboard paint, and also like a whiteboard version as well. And I think this is cool for if you are someone and you find yourself using a ton of sticky notes while you're at your desk, or you find yourself wanting to quickly jot down an idea or just create a mini mood board, I think that something like this would be great to have inside of your home office. Now moving along, I've seen this reel being used mainly inside of the kitchen area of their showroom for utensils, but for an office, This will be good for storing pens, pencils, scissors, or any item that is vertical and you find yourself reaching for often, like maybe some tweezers, brushes, wooden popsicle sticks. You can store a ton of items and use this railing for a bunch of different uses. This next showroom was staged like a pottery or ceramic studio. Now, this is one of the things I enjoy about the in-person shopping experience, especially if you consider yourself a homebody or you work from home. Being able to touch items and visually seeing the things in person sometimes just give you a better idea of what you saw online, and it can also help you determine if it will be a good fit for your space or not. So I like to do a combination of both when getting inspiration. In this showroom, what stood out to me was the bins as well as a cart, which I'll show you all in a bit. But I think both are good for storing those items like fabric or supplies that might need to be mobile within your space. Like, I could see this cart storing mini tripods and small camera attachments, or if you're someone that's into fitness, maybe mini dumbbells or resistant bands. I saw this cart online and it was in the kitchen section, but items like this also work well in an office setting or even for like teachers inside of a classroom. I think the compartments as well as the locking wheels are features that will allow this cart to be useful for a bunch of different things. This rail gives me the idea of hanging like tote bags, aprons, or even cables like HDMI or extension cords. If you have a space where you need to frequently put up lights and film, this rail could be a great place to just kind of toss the things that you frequently use on it and you can grab and go. Now, I know everything cannot just be hanging up on the wall, and not every item in my space will be cute enough to always be on display. So I did check out a few of their bins and other storage containers. I like how deep these bins are and how most of their bins that they carry inside of their store has handles on them. If I have to get a bin or a container, I try to look for bins that have lids or bins that are stackable. I think these smaller size bins are good for keeping maybe a desk drawer organized or just getting really nitty gritty and organizing and compartmentalizing even further. Then these medium sized bins, I think these are great for storing things like patterns or notebooks or just those random items that you might find inside of your office. Now, almost every craft room I've seen on Pinterest use this Clack storage system. I currently don't have that many items where I would need this, but I do like the inserts and the accessories that they have also expanded on for this system. I think giving everything a designated place and a home to live in will just make the flow of your space feel a lot more organized and help you to be more consistent with creating when you know everything has a home and you're not spending more time cleaning up than creating. So, as I mentioned earlier, if it's a drawer or cabinet, things tend to get messy unless everything is in a designated space or compartment. So I think these add-ons where it's like compartments, drawers, and doors, I think this adds on to that organization component as someone who's trying to figure out like how to best organize my space. Another cool thing I checked out and I love about their bins and baskets is most of them are collapsible. I've noticed that the cloth collapsible bins from other stores tend to get fuzzy and lose their shape over time, but these bins are hard but also collapsible, which I think works well if you have supplies you use in your office or maybe you have a home-based business where you actually sell a product. I think that this works well for temporary storage like planners, or if you sell t-shirts. The inventory can go up and down, so with collapsible bins, you can store items when you need to, but when you no longer have the items in your space, you can collapse the bins down, store them away, put them away, and use the space for something else. So I think that this works for if you are looking for something to give you a little bit of versatility, especially if you have a smaller space that you are working with. Now, Do not sleep on the kitchen items, okay? Do not sleep on kitchen storage. And just because it's in the kitchen area, it doesn't mean that it has to stay in the kitchen area. There's so many items that can be used inside of a home office. And so one of the things that I came across that I think would also work well inside of a home office is this vertical mug and utensil holder. I can see myself using this to store different camera lenses on here and just spinning it around when I need to find a certain lens to work with, or maybe even storing books on here. Or let's say you customize mugs and you sell them on Etsy. This is also another cool way to store them instead of just stacking up a ton of mugs inside of a cabinet. Even these spice racks are also good for storing smaller items like buttons and beads and glitter, or even spray paint cans if you work with a lot of paint in your space. It's tons of different uses for a lot of their items, and you can have a lot of different versatility from a lot of the items that are in the space. So now let's move along to the sound section. So I initially came in to look at the sound panels. I wanted to see how they had them assembled inside of the showroom. I would really love to see how this is just placed in a realistic setting. But for now, they just kind of had these sound panels hanging on a bar inside of the showroom. I also came across this sound absorbing wall panel, which I thought was cool because it's lightweight. If I need to move it in different parts of my home to record for a podcast or for a video, or maybe even take it to a shoot or in-person interview, I like how versatile and lightweight it is to just move it wherever you need to. And as you can see, I'm about 5'4", 5'3", so I'm about the same height as this sound panel. I think something that would be extra cool about this is if this was also collapsible, because I can use it at home, but then again, take it out into the field if I ever need something to kind of get control of the sound. Now, let's move on to the lighting section. They have tons of light if you are trying to set a certain mood or ambiance within a space. In my opinion, lighting is everything when it comes to both decor as well as from a content creator perspective. Now, let's get back into this lamp that I showed you all earlier in the video. Another cool part about this lamp is that you can adjust the temperature of the light as well as the brightness of the light. So it's like a mini ring light. But also, if you're not into all of that, they also have a simpler desk lamp as well. They also have another light which you can attach to your monitor of your desktop or your laptop. So again, I'm really feeling the lighting because lighting can really make or break a space. They even have this iPhone or iPad stand, which also has a headphone rest in the back. I feel like they thought about almost everything someone would need for their space. Like, I didn't even know they sold air purifiers, but they have that as well if that's something that you're looking for. I'm telling y'all, I was just shook at the things that I was coming across. I've just been enjoying checking out all the different things that they have to offer. And I actually went to 2 IKEAs. I went to the one in SF and then another over in East Bay on 2 separate days. And I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently it is. But IKEA hosts events, and the one I got a chance to check out was an adult craft night, which I thought was super cool because you could customize a set of serveware and give it as a gift for the holidays. And this was a free event, y'all. Like, I couldn't believe it, but it was nice. It was super chill, but I really enjoyed partaking in this event, mainly because it just gave me time to just work with my hands. They supplied snacks. They had some little juice that you can sip on while you were there. And there were some folks who were just showing out. Like, look how cute some of their designs turned out. I had to get some inspiration from Pinterest before I started to design my serveware. But I also kind of rushed to decorate my serveware because I really wanted to continue to look around. But that's all I have to share with you all. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on the progress I'm making with setting up my home office and creative space. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in my next video. Bye.